So, welcome people. Today I'm gonna model a camera for a logo for family members. Just a regular, simple camera, nothing fancy. I just need a camera in this setup here. And while doing that, I'm also gonna show you what is possible with some compositing. Which is you can give like things you put into the scene, like a rim, or other things. So many things you can do with compositing. Is actually fun. I'm gonna show this in full screen that you see the setup quickly. Cleaning it a little bit. So this is how it works right now. Pay attention to stuff which goes into alpha, goes into this. And I think we also for this setup we need to have turned on transparent background. Yeah. It doesn't work if this is a transparent background. That's also interesting. So I'm a tweaking guy, so I tweaked my way to this, and I have different setups also. I discovered them when I did a drone logo for my brother, and yeah, I wonder meanwhile if it's possible to actually copy and paste compositing nodes into new Blender scenes with Blender 4.3. Let's give this a try. This did I say that already? It's a hanging out format. I just cover it because it's fun to show that. Again, I'm going to show you this here in big if you are interested in the setup, and you can just see the interesting part here. So important here before you start, make sure it's a transparent background, right? So if under film, turn on transparency before you start working with the setup. And yeah, sometimes you have to be also aware. It looks sometimes different. See, when I scroll out, it doesn't show it. Sometimes when there's a difference with when you render a thing, let's render this quickly. This will be. I think one way to make sure it's the right thing is basically. I think it should actually show always on top. So it should actually update, I think. Yeah, it does. So this is actually a good way to, if sometimes the render, the final result looks different to the render result in the viewport, then you could actually also render the viewport in theory. But if you render that by pressing F12 and you open the final result next to you, you can still change some compositing settings. Just saying this because I just remember that while talking to you that this is possible. So, and right now you see this is overdone, but this is not set up like that. The original setup is like that. So this is basically like so, and you see why this is so cool, right? I mean, it didn't look so good as first, but now you say, that's not too bad. And see what you can do. It's cool, right? So, and this is when you make some logos for your family members or other people. Then this is a way to set it up if you want, right? So anyway, I have a different setup where it only shows the rim of complex things, but not kind of like an X-ray, which is also good. I have this in another Blender file, which I'm not gonna cover this right now, or I'm not gonna look for. I don't know which file it is exactly. But the cool thing about this, if you put any object in that, it automatically becomes part. It's just immediately a part of the whole, layout here. So it's kind of fun to do that here in Blender. Okay, anyway, so let's see if this works. So let's see if copy and paste works, because this didn't work. That's a little bit sad. So if I just copy the whole thing here, and I open a different Blender file. Let's see, where's my Blender, open it here. Here we go. Here's the Blender. This I close. And now I'm gonna go and change this to compositing. Here we go. And if you want to use composite nodes, you have to actually turn it on. Let's just try to Control V No, you cannot do that. That's that's sad. They were yeah, because Blender does a great job with copying other projects into other projects, but this one doesn't seem to be ready yet. So I think there is a way to do that, but I haven't really, I don't know, an easy copy and paste way. Yeah, if you know an easy way, yeah, let me know. That would be great. It's appreciated. I'm not responding I'm not writing back or reacting in YouTube, but yeah, I read them. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so we have this here checked. Okay, you know what? Let me try to create a simple camera. I think that shouldn't be too hard. The problem is always when you do think in Blender, let's do something quickly. It always, or maybe yeah, no, for cleaning. Let's open Blender again. Let's do it in here. This looks like a clean environment. Yeah, I mean, it should not be too. I wonder which approach I should use, to model that. I have, or I had, um, Box Cutter, a new add-on, which unfortunately doesn't work anymore with Blender 4.3. And I liked Box Cutter. I bought it with the Humble Bundle, but I didn't have enough opportunities to get actually really good at this. And when I wanted to get better, I had some problems with the newer version here because it's the Humble Bundle version is just too old and it's not being updated. So yeah. Yeah, but I wonder why it's not installed right now. Okay, but you know what? We don't need to make it too complicated. I don't need a super fancy camera. I have a little reference picture here. Yeah, I'm gonna just use that, and also from my, I'm also over 42 years old. I remember my grandpa's, photo camera still, and I remember the time where, you know, taking pictures were actually a big thing. So I'm definitely I like the idea of creating one simple. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna shut up a little bit because let's just model it easy, not too hard, not too fancy. Just let's see what happens when we let's use. We don't really have to make it for game engine, so we can waste some geometry stuff, right? So I'm just gonna set up a little modifier thing, and then let's just start working with that, I think. Yeah. So I can also ignore the size of everything because it's just for the logo. It should just, look like a camera. I wonder if I wouldn't read mirror. Maybe. I also wonder if I should make it out of one piece or. Let's say this one. Okay, let's say this one here is the thing being, and the other thing is the other thing being. Yeah. Bevel, I actually wanted to change this to. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna focus on being fast, but not so fast that it's gonna be like a model challenge like other people do, which I am not a fan of. Like, oh, look at me, I'm so fast. Yeah, great, good, awesome for you. I don't give a shit. Or those people with the videos with Blender 1 hour, Blender 10,000 hours. I don't give a shit. It's not about the time. It's about the fun you have with it, and well, okay, it's also a little bit about the time. I cannot deny that. But anyway, so um, let's see. So make it so. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I have to really see something like this one here. Yeah. Beep, beep. Hmm. I'm not sure if I should go where now with the bevel stuff. Like in this way. It'll come to me while I'm working with it. So actually, you know what? We can do it like so, and then this one maybe. Oh yeah. Cap, so trip. Yeah. It's good to do model practices once in a while because you keep forgetting things and then remembering things again while working with it. So I use this method for my new car, which I'm still working. I mean, the car is basically is done in a way, but I really didn't for the environment and the whole setup, which takes more time. Or sometimes so this is. I will leave it like that. Yeah. Yeah. So my main project, you know, it's I mean I put a lot of time in there, but the reason why it's done is not that it takes so much time. The reason why it takes long is that the amount of time I'm not putting into that. Actually, I realized sometimes you just can't work on stuff. I'm gonna get rid of this for a second again. So yeah, when you use a bevel method like this, it takes some practice time. I mean, there are lots of ways to model the same thing. You know, with box cutter, this is also an interesting format. But I thought I had installed it. I thought that I installed. What's the right way? The persistence. I thought that I had it installed. Right? That's the right English, huh? Something like that. But it's not appearing here. I don't know what's going on there. The reason why it's I had it in my other I mean this is not really round. Huh? I wonder, can we make it again just a little bit rounder? basically everything is new. It's Linux Mint instead of Windows 10. Yeah. So let's see this guy here. That's a circle. Yeah, I would like to use something like that. Oh, this looks good though. I see. I see. Maybe it's okay. It's not perfect round, that's for sure. I mean, we could maybe. Yeah, we could do something here. Oh, that's also not too bad. This the round camera. Yeah, not perfect, but good enough. And careful here. So. Yeah. As a reference, that would be a good. I mean, you know, modeling with box cutter is just. Yeah, it's also a blessing in a way. The thing is, box cutter is when I bought box cutter in this Humble bundle, right? So last year, it was Humble bundle was great, but the problem with the Humble bundles is that the versions you get in those Humble bundles, it seems to be the case, at least on Blender Market, that you are stuck with the version, which is fine in one way because you can still use them with the Blender versions which are compatible, so that's good. And they're also very cheap, so for testing purposes. So no really complaints about that. It's just we have to be aware of that when you buy stuff in bundles. And a bundle add-on package I bought it was also my Humble bundle was actually my first money I paid for add-ons. Let's put it that way. And so it's a good testing. But now that I have a bundle, I also realize might be better to buy add-ons for stuff you need right now, and pay a little bit more and have um, the longer version support for Blender. Meaning, if you buy a box cutter individually, um, then you have to spend like $30 or euro. But you get also updates with when Blender updates too. Might be better, you know. And yeah. So anyway, so we need some stuff here, there. Ah, looks already like a camera. I should save maybe in between. Save. Desktop here looks good. Camera. Camera. Model. So, um, I like this. This looks like comic style, you know. Okay, I like it though. Okay, here we go. Little details. I mean, we could also, you know, make a low poly of this and then just copy the normals onto that. So how does this look anyway? That's what I always like because I'm very visual is that I already like to test material it, meaning I want to see how this would look. So we're gonna give it already some materials, which would maybe make sense. Okay. Yeah, that was a little bit stupid, I think. Like so, yeah, that makes more sense. Don't see anything in here, and here also not. Reflection is not perfect. Okay. This one is actually, I don't think this is needed. Ah, maybe later. This one might be later needed. Let's see what happens if I turn it off. Nothing, that's good. It's off for a second. Yeah, it's actually maybe better, huh? Look at this. Do you see that? You say nothing? You're right. There's actually nothing much to see. I'm a little bit here. Yeah. So. Yeah, now we should see an impact. Ah, a little bit. Let's leave it for now. Maybe I want to add something to that. Okay, let's see what happens if I do that. Okay, so I mean, she only wants the rim, my family member. So we don't actually need so many details in terms of material because it's gonna be only shown as rim stuff. And also an interesting thing, if you turn on this one here, let's say you make something for kids, you know, in your family, you could technically, you know, if you have some models or you like to model something, you can make, as I saw it recently, turn this one on, this one, maybe not this one, that. Oh no, I have to go into this view, I think. Oh, my computer is busy. No, I thought so. Yeah, it crashes sometimes, but not too often. But I have some, yeah, a little bit. I mean, since I'm using Linux, I experience some, yeah, disturbances, but nothing to be too concerned about, to be honest. There are some advantages, you know, and then some disadvantages. And Linux is still a new system, so I can't really say much, but yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I wanted to show you this because it's cool. How did I do that last time? Oh, maybe was it in here? I maybe changed this in here. Go to flat. Where is flat? Here. I think that's already it. So actually we can still be in Eve, you know, and we can just change being in here and this option here, viewport shading, and then we change to those settings here. You can see something is happening. We can go to doesn't really matter, material is fine in this case. Texture would work if we would have some textures, but we don't have some. I just wonder some settings, or maybe it works better when you have more environment going on. But yeah, I'm not sure if I show the same settings. I have it in my main scene, but I cannot show you my main scene because, you know, this will be a surprise. But anyway, the idea was just, you know, if I have multiple objects, you know, even like something like that. I have a camera, for example, then wait, I always like to do this. So this only shows what we see. So then maybe change the viewport display. It doesn't even work in here. Interesting. No. This one now. Okay. Zip. So you could actually, let the kids, take a picture of this guy, for example, like so. Oh, sorry, not like that. Then we have to really go into Workbench or to take a picture. Oh, but the idea is, taking a pictures like this and let them drawing it out, with pen and paper. So you can make your own little sketchbook for the kids. I thought that's funny. So or colorizing it or something like that. If you have more objects in the scene, it actually works better. In my main scene, it looked pretty cool. Like I wanted to actually print it out and colorize it myself because it looks so cool. But here it doesn't really, because I think we don't have enough objects here. But anyway, this is not the point. Not the point. Let's reopen that to this guy here. Okay. So let's continue working on it. Here we go. Ah, actually it crashed in here when it wasn't ready. Oh, okay. Well, let's add some details, but not too many we need. I see. This one is interesting. So let's try do it. This one not. Yeah, maybe in this case I actually could instead. No, let's split this object. Let's just dissolve that. Just make another object here. So what? I think this might be better. And I'm gonna just turn this here off for a second. Oh, let's just leave it on. Okay, like so. And so, like so. Like so again, and then bam, bam, bam. Let me think. Am I on the right track? I think I make a mistake here right now. Yeah, let's do it differently. Let's do it differently. All faces. Yeah. Yeah, that might be better. Dissolve on the edges. No, nonsense. In Word first. Yeah. Okay. This. Here we go. And extrude. Inside we don't actually need no faces. But it would have been probably better to do it. Yeah, let's keep the inside. Sure, we could use the subdivision, the solidifier would also work, right? But I want to have this one. No, let's just do it like that. Like so. And we're gonna keep the inside at least for now. Just for a second. So like that. Oh. No, I don't know if I extruded anything. I'm gonna just do that again. No, okay, we're fine. And now I would like to have an extrusion here again. Yeah, so now everything is very confusing. So let's turn this here on. This one we didn't use. And how does this look? Yeah, I think that's okay. And we don't need to close it down. Yeah, we don't need that. No, here it is. Okay, okay. What else? We have this. We are safe in between. Um, yeah, one of those guys is always bigger. What a time, huh? In those old days, with cameras, where you can actually be a photograph. You know, what a nice job actually walking around with this thing and taking pictures and thinking, oh, look at me, yeah, taking so great pictures. And people say that also, oh, you take so good pictures. Yeah, of course, I'm a photograph since 30 years. uh, I mean, might be funny now, but this is what people will say about Blender. This will also be obsolete. You know, I don't know who said it, but that makes pretty much sense. That I've heard that probably in gaming genre. The future things will not be rendered; they will be generated. That's for sure. I mean, that makes sense when you see the power of the AI. However, modeling will also be always a part because humans like them. You know, the humans have this huge advantage. If they like something, it doesn't matter how silly or unnecessary it is. It's never gonna be obsolete. It's just that simple. You know, that's why we have so many things which we um, uh, not need necessarily, but we like them, and so it's gonna be used. That's why so many bad videos are in the internet. Huh? So I know you probably say like this one, right? But actually, that's not so bad. You can see at least someone modeling. So maybe not the best, but also not the worst. Here we go. Yeah. Nothing against bad stuff, you know. I also enjoy bad stuff. I played, restarted playing World of Warcraft, which I really thought I'm done with it because of Blizzard and other things. But I got older. Sorry, I keep letting my phone fall. I'm getting older, and then I got some health issues, and then I got weak, and then I thought, hey, what the fuck? Let's just do something you love to do to relax. And yeah, it turns out I enjoy the stupid game. Oh no, I did something stupid. I was too confident. Yeah, no problem. We can still do it in a different way. Either we're gonna, I think, it also changes here. You have to, when you use this method with the bevel stuff, you know, even if you insert, it changes a little. Maybe not in here, but be aware this. Yeah, but inserting you can then, like, yeah. Let's see if we can fix that. This by fixing it, meaning fixing it without changing the shape of it. Yeah, that would be fixable. But maybe you don't have to do this at all. Maybe just, I don't see the back side of my what's it called, inspiration picture. I don't think the back side will be important, and I don't even remember how cameras look from the back. It was just flat, right? You just put it in the film. I like the sound also. I still have an old camera somewhere lying here, but not that old. Not that old. Like not from the 80s, 70s, but 90s maybe. Yeah, 90s. Okay. So what else? Here's another thing. What could that be? I have no idea what it is. Something sticking out there. Okay, let's just let something stick out here. I think. Let's use this. Oh, no, it's fine. Insert. Would that make more sense? Like 2? No, it's too much. Huh? Just a little thing, a little extra. Yeah. This could be where the film is. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing with this one here. Would that be? Oh, I don't know. Hmm. I mean, let me think. There was like this opening here, and then let's try to do that. What I have in. Yeah, we cannot cut this one here because we can. Oh, we can extrude it, like maybe so. Yeah, that works. Okay. We have to do this here too. Always the corners are very important. Okay. And now turn this on. It's not necessary, but I like to have it either all turned on or all turned off with the bevel here, depending on what I do. Oh yeah. Oh, maybe we can do this here too. Maybe we can do this here too. See, let's always keep those corners in mind when we do that. And maybe this is nicer for you to look at. Huh? So, bam. Okay, and then we have this one here, and then do this here. Corner. Keep the corners in mind. Bam, bam. Zip. And now we can bring this down here a little bit. This will leave only those guys here. Let's see how this looks. No, I don't like it actually. No. No sir, I don't like it. No. Let's see how many things I can undo. Fortunately not that, you know what, let me just reload. Oh, let's just copy this guy just in case the reload is also messed up. There we go. Copy this on. Yeah. Okay, we can just... Usually I do backups like so. Okay. Yeah, this one I like, so I think that's easier to do. Like so. The fun thing with box cutter, you can just cut it out while a box cutter is basically a Boolean tool if you want, and while the modifiers work. So I mean, we can also do that with manually with Blender, but another approach what we could do, which would be non-destructive, would be adding another bevel. Yeah, maybe here, no, maybe like so, or like so even, and then change this to a vertex group, and then we could give this, I think, a vertex group. So let's just see if and then we're gonna choose this group here, and that's confusing. What happened right now? Oh, see, so we have now the control over this vertex group here, and we can still make some changes, so that would be still non-destructive. Hey, I think we're getting actually to it. I mean, it should not be too complicated. She doesn't like it so in terms of it's so, yeah, it's a logo. It doesn't have to be too detailed to colorize, which is good. That's also more fun, you know. Oh, I like this one here, but yeah, that's not real. That's good. Be a little bit. Maybe not like this. Maybe this one more. Let's leave it for now, like so. Oh, maybe like that. Yeah, that looks round. Okay. I mean, what we need to make it more realistic, I think, is just want to see. Yeah, this would even add more roundness, but big key for a screen for for one render. We don't have to be like scared of too much geometry. Unfortunately, I cannot do that right now. Maybe if I can do it in here. Let me try if this would work out. Just curious. It looks like a shield. No, that doesn't work. Okay, well, this method has also some limits in some ways. See, I don't actually like this here. What can we do about this? Better? Not really. Probably also not. No. Then let's go down. Yeah, I think this is more like it. But I don't like it so much. I like this one better for some reason. Let's see how this looks. Yeah. Weird. Why is this? Yeah, I think we can actually add this guy here. Yeah, I cannot do the insert thing so easily. Like so. Yeah, I think something like that. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I like this better. Oh yeah, that feels like you would really want to hold the camera, I think. Yeah, it's actually better. I think somebody should sell this one here. That would be good. Then you can take some pictures. Yeah. Okay, that's good enough, I think. I'm pretty satisfied with that one. I'm gonna save here. I will need, though, to make it more realistic, we need a little bibble dibble. Let's use, the thing to not to let it not fall. Not sure if this is needed for what I do. Bum. Let's see, where is the bibble dibble we're gonna need? Yeah, and it needs to be. It wouldn't work, right? Yeah. Here too. How would this look? Yeah, better. Better. This would not work, but I'm curious. Yeah. Okay, this one we have. Now let's see. Where do we adjust the thing? What if I turn this here in? Bam. Maybe here, maybe there. No, I think this is good somewhere here. And we have here so much geometry right now. Yeah, that's good. There is our little bit. So yeah, something is off. Could it be? What could it be? This guy. Yeah, this one was the first one, so it helped a little bit. But I don't think that's it. Ah, this guy here. Yeah. Yeah. This looks good. Okay. Okay. Camera. Is super. Okay. Now let's add curve. This one looks good. Actually, let's do a professional select cursor and get rid of this guy. Extrude. Oh, I did it again. Yeah, with the curve, let's practice something because I keep forgetting that how to do it as a way. We can change this in editing mode to we to automatic. Yeah. And then, yeah. So when you use a curve in the edit mode, press V, check out those options, and if you are confused, doesn't matter. I was constantly, and I'm still confused about certain things, and especially when I have a break of some method, I forget some things, and then I relearn that while I'm doing that. Like that's good to do some practice once in a while. But for example, I don't know how many it took years for me to understand this kind of principle in terms of naturally understanding, not sitting there and studying those things, but just by using it, at some point something makes, that's how I see, and so if this takes a while, also the resolution of the curve we can just increase. We could use the modifier, or we can increase it in here. So we just use 24, should be fine. And then we don't need a modifier. We go to geometry and say extrude. Yeah, that's pretty good because we need this one. And then some depth. Looks good, right? I mean, looks okay. Looks acceptable. And that's gonna be a perfect object for game assets. I'm kidding. This is a horrible like so. It just simply has too much geometry. But it's gonna be good enough for our purpose. So okay, we want to be able to change that. I'm gonna just connect it to our camera. So on this one too, then we have not too many parts actually. That's pretty good. Like so. Let's put this guy here into the scene. Also sometimes look at those guys here. Sometimes this is not sharp. But when this one here is not sharp, the background, this is due to Linux. It does sometimes that. I don't know why. It shows the pictures not sharp sometimes. Anyway, yeah. But Linux so far, it's I had a hard time switching to Linux, but now I'm pretty happy. It seems to be the case that I'm more attracted to Linux. Can you say something like that? Like that I'm more sexually attracted to Linux than to Windows. I can say that. Because it's just I can also I know how to play games on Linux. I know how to run programs now. So I mean, bad for Windows because I wanted to be with Windows, but they didn't wanted me or my computer. So I think overall, I do not know what Windows is doing. It's pretty bad for if you want to lose some people who actually liked Windows, then good job, you lost me, I guess. So yeah. Anyway, so I mean, just saying that sorry, it's a little bit boring. Hold on, there's nothing for you to see, right? Here, I wanted to stick to Windows 10, but my computer is not, my CPU is not eligible for that. Okay, objects. Let's another good thing what you can do, because we have some parts here, right? I would say before we transform that, I would say we're gonna select everything, and then we're gonna say new collection, say or Deutsch Kamera. I'm not even sure is this how you write camera. Let's use the English. How do I write camera? C-A-M. Sam. Okay. So here we go. I wrote camera. Good job. Arigato. I'm not joking. This is my brain. This is hard for my brain to do. And I know why, because it actually knows better. Because the way people should write is the way I write. I know, it's very humble. Camera. So you guys are all wrong with writing. And this one too. Camera. Here we go. Okay. Good. We have done this. Yeah. So here's a good way to copy and complete objects in a collection. So do it in here. Copy it in here. Say here, copy. And then go to your other Blender scene. And do not paste them into while hovering with the mouse in here, but go to the collection and hover. This is important. Hover with your mouse over the collection where you want the collection to be pasted in. In this case, in objects, and here Control V, and now you have it completely here pasted in a good way. And here we go. Here would be my camera, and that's what I'm talking about. It's not, details are not being necessarily seen here, and how much of details will be seen, this is up to my family member, and she will let me know. And you see, this is also, you can see how great this method is. You can see that the two objects seem to be like melted together, for you can play around with those settings or play around with stuff like this. It's just awesome. It's really, it's an interesting thing to work with. Also, when you do stuff for other people, I recommend, do not from the beginning, don't think that when you have some ideas, see them as suggestions to offer something, but don't get too connected to them, because whatever, if the other person has a completely different understanding. Whatever you think is wrong. So what you can do is step by step reaching what she or he meant, and then you suggest this one, at some point, That's the difference between when you do something for yourself and you do something for other people. So step away back, don't get too connected from the start. And then you're gonna have a good time, because then you just see that as it is, because people will always see it differently. Also for my girlfriend, she's an artist. When I help out her, I also had to learn that her ideas are not my ideas. So I can make some suggestions, but don't get offended when they are rejected. It's not meant that way. It's just how people think differently. So. And yeah, this wasn't easy for me to, although I'm not a stupid guy in this way, but this was still, it's something you have to learn. It's gonna be good for you if you learn that. Then you can do stuff for other people very happily. And then you do something for yourself, it's also important. Okay, so Mr. Camera, Hato here, camera there, and then look at this guy already, huh? Yeah. Mr. Camera. Yeah, I like this. Okay, again, this one here, check this out. That's an interesting. This is very simple. I have different setups. I don't know much. I mean, I understand them better and better and better the more I use them. But for example, I don't know. They are all disabled or what right now? No. What did I do here? I'm confused, but I'm tweaking a lot. I'm a very tweaking guy. I like to tweak things until something happens, and yeah, I recommend doing the same thing. Play around with the settings. Add, here I have blur, for example. We can add something else, different filter. Let's use fun filter always is sun. Yeah, sunbeam is also interesting, but more fun is even clear. Now, where's the disturbance here? Lens disturbance here. Put this here, for example. When we put that, it will not have the effect I'm looking for, but it will, you know, we can create like little shadows, and then we can change this. Or not this, maybe this one here. And I actually wanted to go for transparent right now, but I'm making a thinking mistake. So, no, not this one. This guy, I think. Yeah, here we go. And now it's more transparent. Look at this. You see why this guy is a good. And keep in mind, do the render, put the video aside, and that's a fun thing I didn't realize you can do. It's still rendering. So when you do it this way, that it's still not really saved. You can still tweak that and see your final render, but you know it's not saved yet. Just in the final render, you can still make adjustments to in the compositor. Although it's it is finally rendered, but the compositor is the only thing in Blender which can still make some changes to it. That's also something interesting. And you can do so much things. It's really play around with those settings. It's so crazy what you can do with that. It's really cool. So today I'm gonna keep it short. I got this picture, you know, from a family member. She sent me this. I just wanted to record this video here, model something quickly. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm happy with this video. I think. Have a good day. Think of that. I do not respond to comments, but I read them. You know, if there's something helpful or cool, I appreciate that. I keep saying that. Bye bye. Auf Wiedersehen.